Welcome. Hello. Thank you so much for tapping in, turning on, tuning in with Enchantress Thee Babbler on our revolutionary rise of a high that is happening at this time. Please, for this video, get comfortable. If any of and all of my videos that are too long for you to watch all in one viewing, definitely consider knowing that it can be long and all this other kind of stuff for you to watch it in parts. But the important part is to watch it all and stuff. So this is going to be a long one. I got lots of notes, guys. Um, Lots of written notes, type notes, whatever the hell you want to look at it as. But either way, I'm totally excited to be here. Welcome. This is going to be a informative long one for all of us. I even watch back because, a lot of the times when I'm going through, like, I want to be able to process too. I digest in so many different kind of ways. Even when I'm creating the material, when I'm, preparing the material, when I am reciting the material, when, whatever the case may be, and then playing it back, and I get to be viewer too for the material. So definitely, um, thank you so much for tapping in, turning on, tuning in. This is going to be about the upcoming full moon that is happening now. Now. It's always happening now. And so we're going to be discussing that in every kind of way. It's in the sign of Leo. And so I'm going to adjust this and we'll get started. Welcome. Welcome to Enchantress Thee Babbler here on YouTube. This is me saying hello again. Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome to my channel, Enchantress Thee Babbler. Who's that? All right, so today we are going to dive into the mystical realms of this upcoming, oh, it's not aligning with my lips. Of this upcoming wolf moon. Hopefully you hear it all. Okay. January 25th, 2024, although dates are made up. Whatever the case may be, right? So we're going to embark on a journey, right, together to understand the spiritual evolutionary aspects and the benefits of how it's under the fiery sign of Leo, right? How this potent full moon, can transform our lives. Yay! Right? So yeah, I wrote something down too. Believe, receive, achieve. It's okay to not know. It's not okay to not do. Nobody ever really knows. We learn as we go. That's how we grow. So now you know. Okay. So here we are, right? The full moon is a celestial event, right? Where the moon is fully illuminated by the sun's light. It's a time of heightened energy and invisibility. We can see the full moon for the most part, right? So Eastern Standard Time, 12:54 p.m. will be the precisely when we get to witness, right? The wolf moon, right? Right, because this lunar event is a global spectacle, right? So that can be observed and celebrated across different cultures, right? Full moons often symbolize the completion, right? And the peak of clarity in our lives, right? Full moon bloom when we think about things like that, right? So, yeah, so that's exciting, right? So the moon, the wolf moon in our history and folklore, right? The wolf moon has its roots in Celtic and Old English traditions, right? It gets its name from the howling wolves, right? Heard during the cold January nights, right? Depending on where you are in this world, obviously, right? So this is the time of year where it's often associated, right, with deep introspection and survival, right? Because wolves in many cultures symbolize our intuition, right? Our intuition and our strong, right? Connection with nature itself, right? So it's mirroring this introspective nature of the full moon that's illuminating and full moon bloom. And so we're going to howl at the moon as often as we could, right? So it's how, let me hear your howl, right? So let us hear this howl. Let us say a activation prayer to illuminate. So you can always play back and whatever, I'll play back too, write it down too, right? Because that's what we're gonna do, right? Okay, when it doesn't align. Okay, I get nervous, guys. Right? Okay. But now, see? Okay. Benevolent universe, source of all that is, under the radiant glow of the wolf moon and majestic Leo, I open my heart, my mind, and my spirit to your infinite wisdom. With the fiery strength of Leo, the courageous and the bold, I ignite the flame of passion and creativity within my soul. May this light guide me to express my truest self unapologetically and freely. As the wolves howl, echoing in the silent night, let their primal wisdom awaken my intuition, enhancing my inner sight, deepening my connection to the natural world. I call upon the energies of the moon, luminous and powerful, to cleanse my being, to release what no longer serves, creating space for growth, for new beginnings, and for the manifestation of my desires. With gratitude, I embrace all the lessons and blessings of the universe. I trust in this journey. I surrender to the flow. May the fiery energy of Leo empower my intentions, fueling them with courage, with love, and with joy. As the moon illuminates the sky, so may my path be illuminated with clarity and purpose. May the energies of this wolf moon activate my highest potential, bringing forth a harvest of abundance, fulfillment, and wisdom. I like that. In the spirit of oneness with all that is, with all creation, I align my heart with the universal heartbeat, dancing to the rhythm of life, embracing transformation, embracing evolution. So mote it be, under the wolf's moonlight, as above, so below, as within, so without, and so shall it be. I love that, right? Why do we say certain kind of things and do certain kind of things, right? This one is crafted to resonate with the energies of the full moon and Leo, obviously, and stuff like that, and this wolf moon, focusing on our own personal empowerment, intuition, and alignment, right? With universal wisdom. So you can use it, you can tweak it, you can do whatever you want with it. You can write it down, you can say it again and say it with actual intention, your own purpose, your own meaning that means something to you. You know what I mean? Because you're the empowerment to the embodiment of that which you say, that which you do, that which you create. You know what I'm saying? Um, yeah, so it'd be like that, right? Because we're dancing to the rhythm of life, right? Embracing transformation in every kind of way. So in doing that, we are the rhythm, we are the beat. And so mode of being, you know what I mean? And that's just how it is. We are free. Self-care, well, right? Drowning doesn't always require water. So we got to remember that as we move and as we create that which we are creating for ourselves, right? Move. Barnacles only grow on a docked ship, right? So taking our care of ourselves, moving to the momentum of certain kind of things, and actually creating the movement that is needed at this time, right? So it's self-care, movement, guidance, find safety in your beacon's light, right? Determination, having the determination that we need, right? For our own focusing on our personal empowerment, our intuition and alignment, right? With universal wisdom, like the prayer, right? So don't be afraid of the rising tide, it will soon recede, right? Opportunity, because there's opportunity here. You will prove yourself and discover if you brave the rough seas, right? So sometimes we have stuff to prove to ourselves, not to other people, to ourselves. That'll be that kind of development and stuff like that, right? For ourselves. So the wolf's moon in Leo, right? Let's talk about that a little bit more, right? Let's talk about the wolf's moon in Leo, right? Ah, right. Sorry, some some stuff, right? So, in astrology, right, the full moon in Leo, it brings us uh, it brings us a burst of energy, right? That fuels our creativity, our passions, and romance, right? O romantico, right? Oh, and then I said romance, and then look at Venus fire right here, right? It fuels our romance, right? And Aries popping up over here, right? Because we are king, queen of our own domain, right? So with the wolf moon, with it has this fierce but playful energy too, right? So this fierce but playful energy, right? And the sun rules Leo, right? So it sits directly opposite the moon, right? Creating this dynamic kind of like tension, right? That encourages us to really balance our personal desires with our emotional needs, right? So we're learning to balance our personal desires with our emotional needs, right? Especially maybe even in romance, right? But then we also have Pluto's fire up in here too, right? So definitely watch all my videos, especially the Pluto entering Aquarius and stuff like that too, because all of this is all encompassing and it's all tied together. You know what I mean? So when the full moon in Leo, right, especially when it like coincides with the wolf moon, right, it carries this like rich tapestry, right? This rich tapestry of spiritual and evolutionary significance. So we're gonna dive into that kind of stuff here, right? For our own personal growth with stuff, right? Because here we are. So the spiritual significance of like the full moon in Leo, right? It brings about the expression of our true self, right? Our true self. Leo being a fire fixed sign, right? Ruled by the sun represents self-expression, right? Self-expression, creativity, and courage, right? The courage that we have, right? To do that which we must, or do that which we do, to do that which we are boldly setting ourselves out to do, right? The full moon in the sign, right, amplifies these qualities, right? These qualities, encouraging each and every one of us as individuals to embrace, right? Embrace and express our truest of selves, our most authentic versions of ourselves, right? While it also enhances, right, our creativity and our passion, right? So it's enhancing our creativity and our passion, right? Because the energy of Leo brings out a heightened sense of creativity and fifth house creativity. See what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? Here, but like our home, right? And that which we are creating in our home, right? So yeah, our creativity and our passion, right? So because this is a time for our own artistic expressions, celebrating individuality and engaging in activities that bring full joy and fulfillment to us, right? Full joy and fulfillment, right? As we focus on our own personal goals, right? So we're focusing on ninth house, right? On our own personal goals, are taking care of that which we must, right? So taking care of that which we will. And then it's funny too, because this Mars card has a wolf right here howling, right? So we're guarding also our hearts, right? Too, but we're focusing on our personal goals and our desires, right? It's a period of recognizing our own needs, wants, desires, ambitions, right? That are separate from the expectations of others. And that could be overwhelming too. That could be a little bit overwhelming, right? But we're balancing our ego and humility, right? With Leo's association with pride and ego, there's lots to learn here, right? Because this full moon also serves, right, as a reminder to really discern, so that we can balance our self-confidence with humility, right? And to recognize the value of being part of the collective, right? So it's a growth spurt of an opportunity of a time, right? Because of the evolutionary impact of this wolf moon, right? And what that can mean, right? So a time for like deep introspection too. The deepest of introspection, right? So the wolf moon traditionally, right, occurring in the depths of winter, traditionally in the depths of winter, right? When it's in the depths of winter, because there's full moons in other seasons too. But it really truly invites this introspection and contemplation, right? It's a period of internal in as within exploration, right? Like there's like a hermiting zone, right? Because I guess that's why, but in our own sense of self, first house too, right? So our internal exploration, right? Understanding our own deepest desires, fears, and aspirations, right? As we strengthen our intuition, right? Here on Earth, because we got Jupiter here in the first house too, right? So we're strengthening our intuition, right? And let's think about it with like wolves. Wolves are often seen as symbols of intuition and instinct, right? So this moon phases encourages us to trust our inner guidance and intuition, which is crucial. It's monumental for our own personal evolution, right? Our own personal growth, right? So, and also, what is our connection with nature, right? Because the wolf moon underscores, right? Underscores the importance of our connection with nature. Our connection with nature, right? And the natural cycles of life, right? The natural cycles of life, right? So this connection is vital for evolutionary growth. It's vital for our growth spurt, our growth span, reminding us of our place within the larger ecosystem, right? A little water. Offering our time too for transformation and renewal, right? So it's transformation and renewal. Just as wolves have to adapt to the harsh winter, the wolf moon symbolizes resilience, transformation, and the ability to thrive in challenging conditions, right? So it represents a time of shedding old patterns, conditions, right? As we embrace new growth, right? And this is impactful on us collectively, right? Because on a collective level, right, the wolf moon in Leo can lead to a surge in creative and artistic endeavors, right? So each one reach one, teach one. And so when this affects the collective, right, it could lead to a surge of creativity in all that we do, because we're all motivating and inspiring each other, even if it's not known, it's felt, it's energetic, right? It's a greater focus on our own personal freedom and self-expression and a collective introspection. It's just so weird to look at myself from here and the camera's right here. So it's like I'm looking up, I'm looking here, I'm looking up, I'm looking here. It's I'm sorry, but it's just weird. I gotta figure this all out and stuff. That's why sometimes I like to be behind the camera and stuff like that, because then I get distracted with myself. Right. So because I'm trying to look at the camera, but I feel like when I'm looking at the camera, I'm looking up, and then like whatever. Anyways, that's just whatever it is. Right. So right. So what, like, so our personal freedom, our self-expression, and a collective introspection about our roles within a society, right? It can spark movements that emphasize the balance between individuality and community, encouraging people to find their own unique voice while contributing to the greater good, right? So the Wolf Moon and Leo, it brings this powerful blend of self-realization, creative expression, and deep introspection, all which are essential, right, for both our personal selves and our collective evolution, right? Which it's a time to embrace our own inner strength, right? Trust our intuition, and wherever we are being led to boldly express ourselves in our own unique way, right? While maintaining, right, a harmonious balance with the world around us, right? And so some of us are being called upon to step into this role of leadership at this time too, to lead the pack, right? So the wolf as a spirit animal is very symbolic of this too, right? Because in spirituality, right, and shamanism, right, it carries deep symbolic meaning, right, offering very valuable lessons, right, especially when considered, right, especially when considered um in the context of a full moon, right, particularly the wolf moon and shit like that. Um so we're going to look at some key aspects of the wolf wisdom that are spiritually beneficial to us and stuff. Right. So when we think about that, we can think about it like from an intuitive and instinctual perspective, right? Which is the wolf, right? Wolves are highly intuitive. Fuck around and find out, right? And they solely rely on their instincts. They teach us this importance of trusting, right, our own inner voice and intuition, right? Don't second guess that, right? Because that's important, because it's connection to the full moon from that perspective, right? The full moon is a time of heightened intuition, right? So and emotional clarity, right, which aligns perfectly like with the wolf's teachings that encourage us, right, that encourage us um to trust our deeper instincts. Yeah, right. And then two, our social connections and our own communication, right? The wisdom of the wolf, right? They're known for strong social structures that and effective communication within their pack, right? So like I was saying, some are being called to lead at this time, to lead the pack and stuff like that, to step into their alpha, um, you know, alpha sigma. I have to throw sigma up in there. Some of us are sigmas, but are being asked to lead like an alpha, but through the sigma way, so this emphasizes anyways the importance, right, of clear communication and maintaining healthy relationships, right, and learning how to communicate healthily, wealthily, stealthily, right. So these are important themes often highlighted during full moons period, but especially now with the influence of the wolf, right? And two, wolves symbolize freedom and independence, right? So the wisdom of that is, despite their social nature, right, wolves are also, they symbolize freedom and independence. The lone wolf, right? How many of us here are lone wolves? You know what I'm saying? So the, this wisdom that they here to impart on, to teach, right, encouraging us to find a balance between community responsibilities and personal needs too, right? I'm getting so annoyed by what I'm seeing with the camera, because you say look at the camera, I'm looking at the camera, but then when I look at myself, because there's a delay and I see, it looks like I'm looking up. So either way, I'm just whatever. I look like I'm looking up, I'm praying, okay? All right, okay, so we have freedom and independence. Now we have courage and strength, right? Wolves embody courage, teaching us to face challenges boldly and to protect what we hold dear, right? So this full moon connection with that is the bold energy of the Leo moon, inspiring us to embrace our inner strength and courage, right? Um, which is important, to do, and stuff like that too. What was that? Oh, yeah, I had taken a nap, especially like, around certain type of moon cycles and things like that, and just cycles as a woman and all this other kind of stuff. You feel me in that, like whether you're male or female and stuff like that. I feel like we're all affected by the stages and cycles of the moon, you know what I'm saying? So either way, whatever. Right. Naps are good for some of us. Some of us are like, I don't take naps and all this other kind of, that's for you, but I did. You can see it clearly above my bed head. My bed hair. It's like okay. You know what I mean? All right. So, anyways, wolves too are about guardianship, and loyalty, right? Because wolves are fiercely loyal and protective. Ooh. Ooh. Right? Emphasizing the value of loyalty and the role of guardianship, right? So, especially for those of you that are stepping up in your community, right? And being asked to lead in a new way, your pack of community, your pack of people, right? There's a protectiveness energy about you that allows you to be this leader in that type of way too, right? So these qualities are reflected in our relationships and commitments, highlighted under this full moon too, right? And also wolves represent endurance and adaptability, right? As survivors, wolves adapt to different environments, teaching resilience, right? And the ability to endure, right? To endure challenging conditions. Tell me about it, right? And so with that, this full moon, right, is a time to adapt to emotional revelations, right? And life changes using wolf-like endurance, right? And so that's really deep, right? So either way, just want to make sure I covered everything I want to talk about as I go through each one. All right. Here we go. So in many cultures too, right? So wolves in many cultures are seen as spiritual guides, right? They're seen as spiritual guides. They are believed to help guide souls in the afterlife or on their spiritual journeys, right? So many of you might have the spirit animal totem of a wolf as one of your spirit animal totems. I know that I work with the whole animal kingdom, and so that's why I understand it better now too. Before, when people are like, oh, you have a spirit animal totem, and people always like choose one or two, and I'm like, yeah, I have so many, and they're like, oh, okay. But now I realize everybody's path is different, and as mine is, like I'm like an animal whisperer. Like I work with spirit animal kingdom, with animals, period. And so animals are a huge part of my purpose and existence and stuff like that. So of course I'm going to have more than one spiritual animal guide. But for some of us, the rest of us and stuff like that, that may not work personally with animals like that and stuff like that, you might come across one or two. And I find that on your journey, you're going to connect with animals as you need them. You know what I mean? So, right. So this full moon can be a period of spiritual guidance where the wolf spirit animal can be invoked for your own personal direction and sight, right? So right? Because wolves have this deep connection to nature and the wilderness, and to knowing the path, knowing the way, knowing how to instinctually go the path, go the way, right? Reminding us of our own connection to earth and the natural cycles and stuff like that, right? So this is echoed in the lunar cycle period, which is intrinsically, right, tied to nature and the rhythm of earth, right? And so sometimes we can feel a little bit lost with all the chaos that be happening here on earth, that this is a nice reminder, right, of your own personal connection with earth, with Mother Earth, right? So wolves too can teach us about transformation and personal growth, right? Because wolves undergo significant transformation throughout their lives, right? um right, which symbolizes too for our own personal journey and personal growth and transformation. And so this is where we can connect with them even more, knowing that they too have endured just as much as we have, right? So this full moon connection is a powerful time, right, for personal revelation, personal reflection, personal release, and transformation, evolution, right? Our evolutionary transformation, right? For our elevation, for our revelation, for our activation, right? um and learning to embrace the mystery of the unknown, right? Wolves can teach us that too, right? Because a lot of the times, and that goes with what I wrote over here too, right? Believe, receive, achieve. It's okay to not know, right? That makes better sense. It's okay to not know. It's not okay to not do. Nobody ever really knows. We learn as we go. That's how we grow. So now you know. And like, so that with the wolves can teach us to learn to embrace the unknown, right? They teach us to embrace the mystery of our spiritual path, right? We sometimes don't know, but we have instinct, we have intuition, we have this connection, right? And the full moon too illuminates hidden truths, right? And mysteries of life, right? Aligning us with the wolf's guidance to explore, right? Because wolves are explorers, right? They explore the unknown, right? They go into unknown territory and they explore it, they travel it, right? And so there's so much that we can really benefit from these energies when we really tap in, turn on, tune in, right? Because when we align with the full moon, this wolf's full moon, right? Particularly this wolf's full moon in Leo, right? It gives us this opportunity, it offers us profound spiritual insights and lessons, right? Including to learn how to trust our intuition, balance our independence, with especially with social connections too, while embracing our own uniqueness and having the courage and the boldness to be open to transformation, right? To be open to transformation and personal growth, right? That is not easy. Sometimes there are rough patches, sometimes there are challenges, right? So the wolf as a spirit guide can enhance, right, our understanding of these particular themes and assist us, right, in navigating the emotional terrain, right, and spiritual landscape of the full moon. And sometimes, especially around the full moons, we might be a lot more emotional too, and like, tapping in, turning on, tuning in. And for depending on what your elements are too in astrology, that might be really uncomfortable for some of you, especially like air and earth signs, right? Like feeling the power of emotions or just feelings, you know what I mean? Right? So when it is the full moon and the wolf moon, right, it has this profound impact on our intimate personal relationships, right? On our intimate personal relationships with ourselves, right? So imagine how that is too with others, right? Too, like especially like in love and passion and romance, right? Because there's increased passion here, right? So for those of you that don't tap into those type of elements, right, that can be a little like unsettling, right? Because Leo's fiery energy intensifies all of our emotions, right? So this leads to heightened passion in with ourselves, right? In our personal relationships, it's a time when even like romantic feelings are more expressive and dramatic. The desire for attention, right? Because Leo craves attention, right? And admiration. So during this full moon, there may be a stronger desire to be appreciated, for appreciation and validation, especially from partners, right? And from the people around you, right? So it's important to balance giving and receiving affection at this time, right? So yeah, so deepened connections come sometimes with challenges, right? So this too can be a time of strengthening bonds, right? The introspective nature of the wolf moon invites couples to connect, right? On a deeper level, encouraging honest communication and shared introspection. And this too, I have to overly emphasize too with ourselves. As within exudes on out, that's what it's all about. And as you extend it to yourself and have this with yourself, you might be waking up with a whole new revelation as to this feeling sensation happening within your whole entire being. And it's just like, this feels different, right? This feels so different. This feels different in a way that I'm not comfortable with. This makes me uncomfortable. I want to say that even too for like the air signs, right? Where it's like, what's this sensation? You could have a tear coming down your cheek, and you're like, what is this? So I just imagine like, what is this salty discharge from my eyes? That's how I'm imagining it, right? So too, this also has the potential, right, for ego clashing too, right? Because with Leo's association with ego, relationships might face challenges too during this time around this issue because of certain issues of pride and the need for recognition, right? Everybody's like, me, right? So it's a period to practice humility and understanding, understanding, overstanding. And compassion. I would say compassion, right? Compassion for the people you love, because you need it too. Right? So it's also a time of self-expression and creativity, like we were saying earlier, right? So this creative expression, right? So this is an excellent time for couples too, for people in relationships, for intimate partnerships, right? To engage in creative activities together as well, right? So whether it's a shared hobby or a new venture, it strengthens, the bond, especially in relationships, right? With the people you love. Expressive communication, right? Leo's influence encourages open and heartfelt communication. Speak from here. No. Speak from here. No. Speak from here. No, I said no, they should know. And everybody knows. We think that people should know, but sometimes part of the lesson is that we have to learn to better express ourselves in healthy, wealthy, stealthy ways. And somebody's inability to understand you in your state of emotions only goes to show you another portal door of where you lack in communication and have yet to learn to properly express yourself. And so use that as a signal, for an opportunity to grow in your own communication, right? And have this relationship evolution, right? Because the wolf moon in Leo too urges us to grow as individuals, right? Which can evolve a relationship, or especially our intimate relationships, right? Because as each person becomes more self-aware, right, our communication can become better. When you become more self-aware and in tune, tapped in, turned on, tuned in with what you're feeling and where your expressions have maybe failed you before, this is your opportunity to really be to transform and lead to a more deeply fulfilling and transformative relationship experience, right? So, because this period highlights, right, the importance of balancing our individual needs with the needs of a relationship, if there's a relationship or an intimate divine counterpart, or just in your personal relationships, like, you know what I mean, those that you have to deal with every single day, whether you live with them or not, or whatever the case may be, because there's growth in harmony, right? There's this opportunity to grow in harmony, right? So learning to celebrate one another, right? That's wise, right? Using this time to celebrate your partner, right? Or those that you love, right? And your relationship, and being grateful for that which you have, right? So small gestures of appreciation can have a significant impact on the chemistry, the harmony that it is, right? Having mindful communication, right? Be mindful of not only what is said, right, but how it's said, right? Because Leo's very dramatic. So the dramatic flair can oftentimes lead to overly dramatic interactions of just emotional chaos. You know what I'm saying? So this is an opportunity to share your goals, right? Setting shared goals, right? Or intentions. I don't know what my cat is doing. Um, right? That's powerful, right? When you share goals, sharing goals or intentions under this full moon can be particularly powerful for all your relationships. You know what I mean? So with the wolf moon in Leo, it brings this mix of passion, right? Creativity and introspection to intimate relationships too, right? So it's a time to express love boldly, right? Don't hold it back. No, don't hold it back. No, 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 no. Right? Don't hold it back. Communicate openly, be brave, right? Grow both individually and if you're coupled as a couple, you know what I mean? Within yourself too, right? So balancing Leo's fiery energies with the introspective nature of the wolf moon can lead to deeply fulfilling and transformative relationships and romance and experiences, you know what I mean? So yeah, that's love. Okay, what about in career, our hobbies, our goals, right? This lunar event can act as a catalyst too for significant growth and transformation in these areas as well, right? So the impact that it has for like a career, right? A boost in our confidence with an ambition, right? Because Leo's fiery energy can increase confidence, increase our ambition, right? And the desire, right, for recognition, especially like in the workplace. It's an opportune time to take the lead on projects or to present bold and innovative ideas, right? You might be passionate about your projects, passionate about your creations, passionate about what you got going within yourself, whether you're an entrepreneur, whether you're self-employed, whether you work for other people, or whatever the case may be. This ambition for recognition in your workplace, right? Whether you are a creative artist too, like this recognition, but also happening within yourself, right? Because it's the time to take the lead on your projects, right? To present them boldly, right? And it's time to take a lead on your projects and then present bold, innovative ideas, right? Right. So and seeking personal fulfillment, your fulfillment, right? So this full moon encourages aligning your career pursuits with personal passions, right? So that's been coming up with readings that I've been doing for people too, aligning them with their passions and their purpose, right? The things that they love to do naturally, right? So there's a heightened desire for work that is not just lucrative, but also creatively fulfilling, right? And aligned with your true self and that what you love to do. And I love what I do and do what I love type of feels, you know what I'm saying? Um, and then also recognition and visibility, right? So you have this whole recognition and visibility. Leo craves the spotlight, right? So as a professional, you might find yourself more eager to stand out, like, oh, okay, thank you. I'm gonna go stand out there and be so much yourself, right? Claiming credit for your own work. Like, oh yeah, no, that was me, that was me, that was all me, right? And seeking opportunities for public recognition and advancement, right? So being put out there as a leader, as an innovator, as a visionary, as an artist, as a singer, as a musician, as an actor, as an actress, as a model, as whatever it is that you want to do, right? Writer, you know, um it's about exploring your creativity, right? Because the wolf moon in Leo, right, is an excellent period for delving into your creative hobbies and interests, whether it's in art, right? Like you said, like music, writing, any other creative pursuit, right? The energy of this moon phase encourages us. It encourages us to be our vibrant selves. It encourages us to take our vibrant selves and to enchant the world, right? With our vibrant self-expression. And so that's a good place to be too. You know what I mean? So we're turning our passions into projects at this time, right? And that's the kind of energy you want to be in, right? Because for some, this could be a time when a hobby or your personal interest starts to take the form that of a side project into this potential business venture, right? Putting in the work that's needed to get it off the ground, to get it off of here, this space, right? It's like goal setting and giving you the floor for your goal setting and achievement, right? So to be bold in this goal setting, right? Be bold and brave, right? Because you're under the influence of Leo, right? So these goals that you're setting during this time are likely to be ambitious enough and slightly audacious, fine, right? But have the audacity, have the audacity, have the audacity. I want to write that down. Have the motherfudging audacity, right? To dream big. Have the audacity to dream big and set high benchmarks for personal achievement. Have the audacity, right, to set high benchmarks of personal achievement, right? Right. So it helps. This is the energy too that helps you to boost your motivation. There's a push. You're being pushed not only to set goals, but also to take decisive action towards achieving them. And that's a great place to be, right? Challenges, any kind of challenges that you have to navigate, you're creating this balance, this ambiance between ambition and realism, right? So you're being real with yourself, even though you're being ambitious too. So while the energy of Leo encourages big dreams, it's important to temper that, right? Ambition with practicality as well. So, and the realism to avoid any kind of, overextending in some kind of way. You know what I mean? But to still be audacious, right? And then also too, checking our ego in team settings, right? Especially in career environments that where there's a lot of team dynamics, right? Not if you work by yourself and you do a lot of self kind of things, but you might be in a competitive field as well, right? It doesn't matter since this is a competitive world, right? So there's a need to balance the strong individualistic streak with collaborative efforts, right? So learning to harmonize that even more, right? For evolutionary growth, right? For can we all just get along is kind of like what I hear. You know what I mean? Can we all just benefit from one another, each one reach one, teach one, right? Because there's personal evolution through achievement for us all, right? So the wolf moon in Leo is powerful. It's powerful. It's a powerful time for personal growth through career and hobbies, right? Related to achievements, personal achievements too, right? So it propels us as individuals, right, to evolve through the pursuit of passion, of our passion projects, and the real and through that we're having this revelation, this realization that we can really achieve anything that we set out to do. We can achieve our goals, and our ambitions are important to go after. You know what I mean? Like that type of thing, right? So it's a powerful phase, right? This transitionary phase. It's a powerful phase for career advancements, right? It's a powerful phase for career advancements, right? As we dive into creative hobbies, right? And setting ambitious goals, right? It's an ideal time for showcasing our talents, seeking fulfillment through work, and boldly stepping into our own power. So step into your power, right? You're stepping into your power, right? Because this lunar phase does encourage you to pursue what truly ignites your passions, right? And to harness this Leo energy for significant personal and professional growth, right? Mhm. Right. So that's in our career. So let's talk about our finances too. You know what I'm saying? Because that's important. I feel like that's important to discuss, right? Right. So we have these opportunities that can come up for financial growth, right? Um and we can truly capitalize on this energy as well. So so- okay, sorry. Just on it. Right. So Leo lends its energy of confidence, right? And so we can have confidence in our financial decisions, right? So Leo's bold energy can boost our confidence in making financial decisions, right? It's a good time to trust our instincts, especially with investments, right? Or any kind of big purchases and stuff like that that resonate with our own personal values, right? So this is a time too for reevaluating our financial goals, right? The introspective aspect of the wolf moon is perfect for reviewing and realigning our financial goals, right? Consider whether your current financial strategies truly reflect your aspirations and long-term plans, right? And nipping certain kind of things too that don't serve your greatest good, like this could be frivolous spending, things like that too, right? So, and then also creativity in money matters, right? So like you might be finding yourself improvising with certain kind of things, like let's say instead of buying something you're making something or something like that too. So this creativity in money matters, like Leo encourages creative thinking, right? So it's creative thinking, so this can be applied to our finances by exploring innovative ways to increase income too as well, right? So to increase our income, right, such as turning a hobby like we were talking about before, right, into a solid hustle, like, or investing in something that is creative, right? And growing this venture in that type of way and stuff like that, right? So because there's growth in strategies, right? So investing in passion projects, investing your time and making an effort, putting in an effort towards that which you are really truly passionate about. Love grows things, you know what I'm saying? So the energy of this moon phase supports investments in areas that you are truly passionate about. Okay. And not being negative about it in any kind of way either, because this could mean that you're starting a business, right? Investing in the arts or any kind of sector that aligns with your personal interests, right? And so you don't want to bring negativity into that either. But I'm getting some type of energy here too that you might be passionate about certain kind of things, but you also bring the negativity of life experience into the mix. You don't want to do that, right? You don't want to do that. Like, don't do that. Like, separate the two positions, right? So either way, there's a time for showcasing your talents for financial gain, right? So not hiding behind the screen anymore, right? Using your uniqueness, your skills, your talents to create additional income streams, right? This could involve freelancing, right? This could involve offering workshops. This could involve making products, selling products, right? Related to your skills. This could involve like getting on the screen, going to those auditions, really trying, right? Taking calculated risks, right? Because of Leo's boldness energy, the boldness of Leo encouraging us to take calculated financial risks, right? Like what it risk to reward, right? However, so like even though there are risks, it's important to have them well thought out, right? Don't just be irresponsible either. You know what I'm saying? So not just impulsive. There we go. Not being impulsive, right? Challenges require you to act cautiously too, right? Risk require you to be cautious about that which you do too, right? So avoid overspending too at this time, right? Don't just because you could doesn't mean you should. You know what I mean? Because Leo's love for luxury can lead to extravagant spending. So just be mindful of budgeting. And even if you don't have to budget, still do so anyways, because being wise with your wealth is keeps you on the rise. You know what I mean? Avoid unnecessary financial extravagance, especially if you have what you need and you have everything you need. Sometimes we just, it's that greed. I want, give me, you know what I mean? And I'm guilty of those kind of things too. You know what I'm saying? Like I want what I want and that's it. You know what I'm saying? So there's caution in that, right? So learning to balance risk with caution, right? So with the confidence of Leo, can be beneficial. It's important to balance this caution with due diligence, especially when it comes to investments, right? Because you really want the long-term evolution, right? The long-term financial evolution, right? Learning from financial successes and also learning from financial setbacks, right? And finding the harmony between the two and learning your own dance that is powerful, right? So the wolf's moon reflective energy is an opportunity, right, to really learn from your past financial experiences. That's what I meant too, talking into existence that which don't need to be brought into the now, especially if it's from a negative experience from before. You know what I'm saying? So your financial experience, growing your financial wisdom for future successes. Just speak about it as a future success in your now state of being. Never mind what happened even before. It's like for some energies that I feel up in here, right? So learning to set bold financial visions, right? No matter what has happened from before, right? Utilize this time to really dream big about your financial future, right? It's like creating a vision board, dreaming big, set goals that may seem ambitious but are achievable with dedication and hard work, right? Something that you know that you can do, something you can do, right? Setting goals that seem ambitious have to be achievable, especially if you're giving yourself the dedication and you're dedicating and doing the hard work for it. Like, why not? Why not? Put in the work. It is worth every ounce of blood, sweat, and tears, okay? You know what I mean? So this is a period, because this is a period for ripe financial growth, right? Marked by an increase in your confidence as well, right? And creative thinking, pushing you towards aligning you better with your finances, with personal passions, right? So aligning yourself passionately with that which you desire to create. It's an ideal time to reevaluate and and um to reevaluate. I lost train of thought. So to reevaluate. Right, you're just learning. You're learning from past in your present for your future, right? So it's about planning and being responsible with your decision making, right? So it's being responsible with your decision making and truly just really I've read something. So it's like utilizing to be able to capitalize. Those are the words that were standing out for me, right? Capitalizing on all of this energy that you got going on here for yourself. You know what I'm saying? So I like that. I like that. Okay. You needn't worry, right? You needn't worry. There's no one in your life who hasn't always loved you. They're all just learning how to show it. Big silly's the universe, right? I like that. Either way, let us progress forward, right? So, um, in regards to like our spiritual beliefs and aspirations, right? There's a quote by Rumi, right? The wound is the place where the light enters you, right? So with that being said, right, this moon really encourages us to introspect, right? Helping us to identify and heal our wounds through enlightenment, right? It's a time, right, of for personal growth, reflection, and understanding our place in certain kind of things, right? And the larger sense of the universe, right? So the full moon in Leo, right, holds profound implications for our own personal, like, psychic development. So we're going to talk about that too, right? And the deepening of our own spiritual connections with the divine or our higher power and stuff like that. So these kind of aspects are beneficial to talk about now too. I'm sorry, I got a little distracted. Let's start wrapping this up. But we'll get through it, okay? We will get through it, right? So, no. We will get through it. Um, you're gonna get all of this because I don't edit. All right, so let's talk about our intuition and the enhancement of our intuition with the full moon, right? So either way too, but the wolf moon, it ties, right, to the intuitive and instinctual nature of wolves, which can heighten our psychic sensitivities, right? Making it an excellent time for us turning into our own inner guidance, right? Inner guidance and intuition, right? Also, too, full moon bloom, right? We have this emotional clarity, right? Full moons often illuminate our hidden emotions, right? I feel like this is coming in strong for certain elements that might be always more reliant on other parts of their intuitions other than their emotions, and they might be feeling their emotions now. So if you typically tend not to be emotional, I feel like you're a little bit more emotional now, right? Um, so so emotional clarity, right? So this clarity can help in understanding psychic impressions, right? And separating them from personal emotions, thus refining our psychic abilities, right? For those of us tapped in, turned on, tuned in, right? Then we have this creative visualization, which is also going to help us with our manifestations, right? Because Leo's creative energy, right, can enhance, right? Can enhance um can enhance our visualization practices. I don't know why I got tongue-tied there, right? And that's a key tool in psychic development, right? The ability to be able to visualize, right? That is a key component, right? Using the imagination, our imagination, right? Is a wonderful tool, right? Using our imagination under the moon can open new doors, right? In our own psychic explorations, right? And our own spirituality, our own connection with the divine, right? Heart-centered, right? Practices, right? Because Leo's ruled by the heart, right? Leo is ruled by the heart, and so it encourages heart-centered spiritual practices, right? Tapped in, turned on, tuned in. You know what I mean? This could involve heart chakra meditations as well, and practices of self-love and compassion, which foster a deeper connection with the divine and just feeling more tapped in, turned on, tuned into our heart at this time, right? Right. Also, like with bold spiritual expressions, right? Not caring too, like what people think about your own connection to the divine and spirituality, right? The boldness of Leo, right, involves and invites us to express our own spirituality in more outward and dynamic ways, right? It's a time to celebrate our own spiritual journey and how far we've come in that and share it with others, right? I mean, not force it upon others, but sharing it with others and not caring of other people's opinions about what we have to say about our own spiritual evolutionary growth. Like those that are not wanting to hear it, they don't have to. They can go the other way. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that, right? And this opportunity for our own reflection on purpose, we're doing that, right? To further tap in, turn on, tune into our own destiny, right? So this introspective quality of the wolf moon is conducive to pondering, right? Life's bigger questions and our purpose, leading to our own deepest seeds of understanding, understanding, overstanding of our own spiritual path and connection with whatever we view our higher power as, right? And the integration of that, right? So the integration of our own spirituality on the daily life, right? And our practices for our practical spirituality, right? The connection of that, the wolf's moon's grounding energy, right? So it's a grounding energy that encourages us, right, to integrate better, to integrate our spirituality into everyday life. And this can manifest too. This can manifest in as seeing the divine in the mundane, right? And seeing the divine in mundane activities and using our spiritual practices to enhance our daily living with practical rituals too. You know what I'm saying? Before we finish here, I'll give some ideas of things that you too can do, especially to go check out my blog, enchantingbabble.blogspot.com, because I have a blog article over there too about the full moon if you like to read. It's not long, right? But either way. So this is a time too that you're being encouraged to explore your own spiritual pursuits as well, right? Right? So courage, right? Leo's influence can provide the courage to explore new spiritual paths and practices, especially that resonate deeply but may have seemed daunting before, right? And any kind of challenges, looking that and viewing that as opportunity, right? So balancing the ego and spirituality, right? So one challenge during this moon is to balance Leo's strong ego with humility, especially in spiritual pursuits, ensuring that the connection with the divine remains pure and not ego-driven, right? Being able to identify that within yourself and just nipping it in the butt, balancing it out, harmonizing it too, right? As we embrace our transformation. We're embracing the transformation with this wolf moon can bring about this massive transformation, right, in our own spiritual experiences, embracing these challenges as they are often significant in our own spiritual evolution, right? So being able to tap in, turn on, tune in that type of way and truly connect honestly with yourself. You know what I mean? So it's a powerful time for our own psychic development, right? Our own psychic development and deepening of our own spiritual connections, right? It brings this unique blend of intuition, emotional clarity, heart-centered practices, and courage and spiritual exploration, right? So this period is ripe for transformative experiences and integrating spirituality into our daily life, offering profound insights and growth on our spiritual path, right? I'll be right back. Had a little drop in my energy levels. So what we're going to do for the remainder of this video is I do have wolf moon affirmation decrees for each zodiac sign. Remember, we are more than one zodiac sign. So you can play around with it, like based off of your sun, moon, rising, north node, right? You can do like that, sun, moon, rising, Venus, north node, whatever you want, whichever planets are your dominant ones. and stuff like that. So you can play around with the affirmations, okay? So for Aries, I embrace my creative freedom and the joy of life. Taurus, I find strength and comfort in my roots and personal history. Gemini, my words are my wand, creating magic in conversation. Cancer, abundance flows to me and I handle it with wisdom. Leo, every day I grow in power and grace. Virgo, my dreams shape my reality and community. Libra, my hopes bring positive changes for me and those around me. Scorpio, I am a leader shaping my industry with vision. Sagittarius, I welcome unexpected journeys that expand my horizon. Capricorn, with every end, I find a new beginning. Aquarius, my relationships uplift and inspire me. Pisces, my efforts and my routine bring meaningful progress, right? So, yeah, so that is cool, right? Because this is the first full moon of 2024, you know? And so it's gonna, so how we affirm and how we move forward sets the tone for us throughout the rest of the year, right? So it's time to crystallize our goals, right? And embrace all these changes, right? So in this Leo full moon, wolf moon phase, right? The challenge, it's challenging us to really release our fears and embrace our truest potential, right? It's a period of self-actualization where we must balance our egos with our compassionate hearts, right? So that's cool, right? So here are this is a perfect opportunity too for spiritual practices and rituals and things like that that are simple and yet profound and helpful to us, right? So these rituals I'm just sharing with you. You don't have to, you can fine tune it for yourself and stuff like that, and may it spark a new idea for you to do on your own. Like maybe you don't do specifically what I'm advising here and stuff like that, but it's like, oh, that inspired me to do this instead. Then follow your call. You know what I mean? Follow your call. This is really hot. Right? So this moon gazing, right? So moon gazing, right? How to do it. Find a comfortable spot where you can see the moon. Sit or stand quietly. Breathe deeply and gaze at the moon. Allow its light to fill your vision and mind. Keep a notebook, paper, pen handy, and write down whatever comes to mind. The purpose of this practice is helping you to ground yourself, right? Connecting with the lunar energy and finding inner calm and clarity, right? So that's an idea that you can do this full moon, for sure. Um, Also creative expression. Engage in any creative activity like drawing, painting, writing, or playing music with the intention of channeling the creative energy of Leo, right? You could do this under a full moon too, and it doesn't have to be, but this is something that you can do. The purpose of this is to nurture your creative spirit, right? Which is a powerful way to connect with the energy of the full moon in Leo, right? Definitely that's so cool, right? Or dance outside under the full moon. Never mind what your neighbors think, just be you. You know what I'm saying? All right, you can do also a heart chakra meditation, right? So how to do that? You can focus on your heart area, right? You can do it with crystals if you want, right? You can do sound healing as well if you want, right? But you can visualize a warm, glowing light in your heart space, expanding with each breath, like it's radiating. So working on your visualization too, right? So meditate on feelings of love and compassion, right? So the purpose of this is Leo rules the heart, right? And this meditation opens and balances the heart chakra, right? Um enhancing enhancing our connection to our heart space, right? Right? So enhancing our heart space, right? Here. Oh, I felt like I skipped something. I'm sorry. I was, right? Right? It's enhancing our emotional well-being, right? And spiritual connection. I'm going crazy over here. Oh my goodness. Okay. Gratitude journaling activity, right? We can write down things that you're grateful for. Under the moonlight. Under the moonlight. That's the key. Maybe you do gratitude journaling, but have you ever done it under the moonlight? Right? All you need is a window or sit outside, depending on the weather that you live in and stuff like that, right? But reflect on the blessings. Notice how I'm saying it, blessings, BLISSINGS, in your life, big and small, right? The gratitude purpose of this is that gratitude aligns you with positive energy, attracting more abundance and joy, right? You could also practice affirmations for decrees. You know how I like to decree, as you decree, so it shall be, right? I got hiccups now. Affirmations, decrees for your manifestations. Write and speak your affirmations that resonate with your goals and aspirations, right? Be bold and optimistic in line with Leo's energy, right? You could do this under the moon. So you can say these affirmations under the moon, right? Or you can even say it in the mirror. That's cool. Right? So this practice helps you to harness the manifesting power of the full moon to bring your intention to fruition. Right? You could take a nap, write out your goals, your dreams, and stuff like that. Stick it under your pillow, take a nap, dream big. You know what I'm saying? Cleansing ritual. You can use sage, palo santo, incense, crystals to cleanse your space, right? Alternatively, take a cleansing bath with salts and essential oils, right? So the purpose of this is cleansing clears negative energy, right? And creates a sacred space for your spiritual practices, right? You can connect with nature, right? Spend time outdoors under the moonlight. A simple walk or sitting in nature can be profoundly connecting, right? Bring a notebook with you, bring your art tools, whatever it is that you do that feels good to you, right? Because this helps in grounding and aligns you with bring a book, read, you know what I mean? This helps in grounding and aligning you with the natural rhythms of earth and the moon. You practice release and let go, right? How to do it? Write down your habits, your fears, your beliefs, your wishes that you wish to just release, right? Burn the paper safely under the moon, symbolizing release. The purpose of that ritual is in aiding and letting go of what no longer serves you, a crucial step in spiritual evolution. You know what I mean? Charging your crystals. That's what I do. I get excited. So I'm going to be charging, cleansing. I have so many damn crystals, but I like to cleanse them. And oh, that's on. Alrighty. So where was it? We're talking about charging our crystals, right? Some time has passed. Not too much time, but there might be some noise in the background. Right? So you can place, that's what I was saying. I was talking about cleansing all my crystals, right? I have so many damn crystals. But either way, I love doing it and I love charging them under the new moon. I even bring them outside and stuff like that, depending on the weather and things like that. And leave them out there. So the animals love it. You know what I mean? So place your crystals under the moonlight, right? To cleanse and charge them with the moon's energy. Charged Charged crystals can amplify your intentions and aid in healing and manifestation. But here's my thing about that, right? If we're under the full moon, there's no space of place that its energy can't touch. So even if you forget to put your crystals out, let's say, and you don't do it, how can you say that It's not charged under the full moon when we're all under the full moon. Do you get what I'm saying? So think about it. Like, we're thinking smarter right here, right? So that we don't have to drive ourselves crazy. We're all influenced. No matter if you go outside or not, you're affected by the full moon, right? So are your crystals. But it's still good to charge them intentionally, like with purpose and things like that. You could also do reflective meditations. You definitely can go to enchantresstheebabbler.com. There you can go to my shop. I'm going to share some questions, self-journaling type questions here. But every month, there are going to be options for you to buy monthly journal prompts and stuff like that for you to print out and just work on for that month, depending upon the new moon, full moon, and really deep questions, because deep as the sea is how I like to go and be. So these questions, these journal prompts, you can, very affordable, right? Where you can print it out on your own, or do it on the computer, however you like to do your do. And every month you can anticipate having new alignments of questions for your own divine alchemy there, for you to, and I'll make it pretty and make it all pretty and stuff like that. So definitely go to enchantresstheebabbler.com, enchantresstheebabbler.com, for your own personal printouts of journal prompts for you to work on for yourself. You know what I mean? And print out for yourself and things like that. So all the questions will be there for you to do on your own, because no one can do for you that which you must do for yourself. That type of stuff. You know what I mean? Okay. So for this month, for January, there are over, how many questions? There are over, and you're gonna want them. Okay, there are over 30, over 50 plus questions that are monumental for your evolutionary growth that you should be asking yourself. And you can go get that at enchantresstheebabbler.com. Okay. Right. So you could also do reflective meditation, right? How to do it: reflect on your own personal growth, achievements, and areas you wish to improve. Contemplate your journey under the moonlight. The purpose: this introspection aligns with the wolf's moon energy, encouraging personal evolution and self-awareness, right? And you could do this reflective meditation with the questions. You get what I mean? Stuff like that. I'm going to be giving you guys some today here for free. But if you want the 50 plus of them, you go to enchantresstheebabbler.com. If you don't see it there, ask me. You can email me at enchantresstheebabbler.com or enchantresstheebabbler@gmail.com. All the information will be in the description box for you to contact me, or you could go to enchantresstheebabbler.com and chat box me there, and I will respond when I can, and get that to you. Okay, if you don't see it in the shop and stuff like that. So these are things you can just ask me for. You know what I mean? So yeah. So along with affirmations, okay. So you'll be getting it with the affirmations as well and stuff like that. Affirmation decrees that are aligned in alchemy for you to say and recite to yourself in full alchemy and alignment, so that you can align with the embodiment and empowerment of the words that you decree. So shall it be, into the universe and stuff like that. It's not lined up with my words. Okay. So yeah, you'll have it with the affirmations, right? I gave you some affirmations already, so we're not going to do those. Right, and let me just make sure we did these already. So some questions you can ask yourself, right? In love and relationships, What qualities do I most cherish in my relationships, and how do I actively cultivate them? For your career and ambitions, how does my career align with my true passions and talents? For spirituality and inner growth, what spiritual practices resonate with me most during this full moon, and why? Right? Your own self-discovery and personal evolution. What are my defining strengths, and how can I use them more effectively? Right? Your overall evolution and life path. What are my primary goals for this year, and how have they evolved? Right? Because journaling these during the full moon in Leo can lead to profound insights and foster a deeper understanding, right, of oneself and one's place in the world. It's a powerful way to harness the introspective energy of the wolf moon and Leo's vibrant creative spirit, right? So I have, like I said, over 50 plus questions in regards to money, emotions, growth, opportunities, love, intimacy, questions for you to ask your partner, ways that you guys can, like, intimate questions, right? That you can ask together, like, what does unconditional love mean to each of us, and how do we express it in our relationship, right? Questions for you to reflect upon with your partner and things like that. So you have those as well. Exploring deeper understandings of stuff, and also understanding your psychic abilities. So that is important here too. And that will be available on enchantresstheebabbler.com. All right. So, divine cosmos, source of all light and wisdom, as we close the sacred space under the illuminating wolf moon in Leo, we give thanks for the powerful energies we have embraced and the wisdom we have shared. With hearts filled with gratitude, we acknowledge the journey of our souls, illuminated by the moon's radiant glow and guided by the spirit of the wolf. May the lessons learned and the insights gained tonight resonate with us, lighting our paths forward. We decree a harmonious closing of this celestial gathering, sealing the intentions we have set and the desires we have expressed. May they manifest in full alignment with our highest good and the greater purpose of our souls. As we part ways under this luminous moon, we carry with us the strength, courage, and creativity of Leo. May these energies empower our days and nights and all our endeavors and dreams. May the spirit of the wolf, wise and intuitive, continue to guide us. In our moments of solitude, may we find strength, and in our moments of doubt, may we find clarity. Let us walk forward with confidence, grace, and an unwavering trust in the journey of life. We honor the divine within and all around us, connected always by the universal web of love and light. Under this wolf moon, we are reminded of our unity and our shared humanity and our boundless potential. As this gathering concludes, may peace and joy be with us all. Until we meet again under the ever watchful eye of the moon, so would it be now and forevermore. Bye. So enchantresstheebabbler.com, at Enchantress on Instagram, Alchemistic Poetess on TikTok, Enchantress the Babbler here on YouTube, and enchantingbabble.blogspot.com. And really go check it out because it's $10. $10 gets you the prayers, the affirmations, and the journal prompt questions, 50 plus and more, every month. Okay, your monthly guides. Bye.